Peace from the East, y'all. It's me, Davon Raymond, aka Vonnie. Welcome back to the Peace from the East podcast. Happy April, dang it, I don't actually know. Happy April 10th. It is Thursday, 3 p.m. Nice afternoon vlog kind of energy. It's like a, I don't know. I'm trying to hype up the energy, but honestly, this is where my energy is. My energy is at like a 5 out of 10. I've already had like a morning, went to the gas station, got a morning coffee, just kind of sat outside on a bench, collecting my thoughts and just thinking about what I want to do for the day. Really just waking up in the morning because I'm so tired of getting up at like 10 or something and then not taking on the day, you know what I mean? If I get up at like 8, then I want to get up, I want to have coffee, I want to do stuff. And here we are recording in the middle of the day, and I'm just feeling good. It is April 10th, so we are halfway through for the stoners out there to get to 420. Now, I have had a whole lifetime of cannabis, whatever, gone to the Boston Freedom Rally a couple of times, which is the Hemp Fest. It happens every year. I'm not going, I'm good on it. Me and cannabis definitely need a break and have had a break for a while, and it's just not something I want in my life, to be perfectly honest. Whenever I am being a stoner, then my life goes a certain direction, and whenever I'm doing that, I always end up wanting to be sober so I can go in the other direction. I want my life to be just, good and not just something that I waste because I'm addicted and habitually stuck in this mindset that being a stoner is what I was born to be, and I don't think it was. So I don't think that was the reason why I was born. No, to keep putting money in the pockets of these dispensaries and drug dealers. No, no. But that's not the point of this. Cheers to the stoners out there. I have made a whole bunch of videos and all that for cannabis support and whatever, not support, just like I did the thing. I did the weed tuber thing for years and realized this isn't who I want to be, so, I'm glad that I stepped away. Now, this podcast, Peace from These podcast, over the few episodes that we've done, I feel like there's always some sort of topic, and today it's no different. Today we're going to be talking about acting, and this kind of is like the next conversation after. If you guys want to watch this sequentially, I just uploaded a video, Lazy Vlog number 2. Yes, I nicked the name from another YouTuber, but it is what it is, okay? I'm doing Lazy Vlogs. I have 3 episodes up right now, technically the pilot, and then 2 episodes after that. So, and in the most recent upload, Lazy Vlog number 2, I talked to you about my shame with acting and how I feel and how I felt super ashamed around acting, and not just embarrassed to do it. What I mean is the fact that I had experience with acting and then made some poor decisions based on my emotional state. We're going to get into that in a few seconds. And then reflecting upon that over the years, bro, I really let some decisions that I made in the past kind of keep me boxed away from acting, or like box up the idea of me acting and put it in a box and then put it away, to where when I watch a movie, I'm like, oh, I'd love to be acting. And then I think about that box that I put away, and I think about the mistakes that I've made in the acting world. And then I just feel like, no, I'm not. I can't do it. It's so stupid. It really is. It's like the same mindset that I had before I started acting is the same mindset that I have now. And that is, couldn't be me, but that's silly. Here I am with 1 IMDb credit, so I don't really have a lot of, anything on the books. But what I have is a story, and that is the story of my acting career. Now, I've talked about this in other videos. You guys can see me reacting to my acting scenes in a video that I'll leave the link to the description of that video in, I'll leave a link to that video in the description of this podcast episode. I cannot talk, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I have to do the podcast episodes before 12, where my brain is still fresh. 3 in the afternoon, that's not the case. Did you guys like that fake laugh? I'm working on it. So, um, so getting back to the lazy vlog number 2, I talked all about my shame, how, I walked away from a role that was written for me, from the director that gave me my first acting opportunity, which was my first and only IMDb credit. They were a local upstate New York capital region director and filmmaker, and I walked away from that second project, not entirely because of, you know, this, but I was at the time of recording the first movie, the other one, by Jay Leonard, filmed by Sean Barnes, who now does stand up comedy, which is awesome. Maybe he did it in the past and never told me, but he definitely does it now, and that's super cool. Um, but when I was doing that movie, I was 21 years old, and I was 21, heavy on smoking, so my emotional state was a little eh. I had issues with self harm, issues with my, like I said, my perspective. And this is probably going to be obvious when I tell you the next thing. I was 21 and I had just finished dating my ex, who was my general manager of my Taco Bell job. And after I broke up with them, I shortly, within a month, started dating this woman. Now, the ex girlfriend, she was like my age. I was like 21. She was like just turned 20 or something. And after we stopped dating, I started dating, unfortunately. I was really in the flesh, guys, at this point. Dating this woman who was 39 years old. So I was 21, just fresh out of a relationship, working alongside my ex, and then getting with this new general manager. So I'm jumping from general manager to general manager, from a 20-year-old girl to a 39-year-old woman. And instead of it just being like a high and buy situation, which nowadays is not something I support, for myself, I don't want any detours on the way to my destiny. No babies, no STDs, no drama. So no, I won't be just sleeping around nowadays. But at the time, I feel like it just should have been I'm interested, you're interested, and then move on. It should never have been what I ended up doing, which is getting an apartment with this woman and her two kids. One being like an 8 or 9 year old boy, and then the other being a 15 or 16 year old girl. I mean, what the hell? What the hell? So I start, dating this woman, and I get an apartment with her a town away, a couple towns away, actually. And it was just this whole life where I dealt with her, and we lived together for X amount of months, and there was drama, and there was good times, but there was times where towards the end I was sitting in a chair, calling my grandmother, crying, saying, "Where did I go wrong?" You know what I mean? Which obviously, bruh. So this is like all the drama that I'm dealing with emotionally. The woman who I was dating went to school with the director of the movie that was filming me. That is the level of like, these were like adults. And you can be a director at any age. I'm just saying, like, these were adults that I was dealing with. I mean, he was cool. And the filmmakers and the director, like, they were awesome. Jay and Sean, very cool, very supportive. Honestly, nothing but luck to those guys. And I would love to work with them again. Honestly, they're great. They really are. So one of these days, I want to go check out Sean Barnes. I want to see his comedy show, or just his stand up, because I know he's active. I know he does comedy, and I kind of want to do that. If you guys if you're not already subscribed, please check out Davon Raymond X here on YouTube. And I think in the very short future here, I'd like to see some Sean Barnes. I want to see him. Do you see his acting, see his comedy show? I'm just like vamping because I'm pulling up his Instagram. Okay, well, he did have dates recently, upcoming shows. This is April, what is today? The 10th, right? So he has a show coming up April 12th in Saratoga, which honestly, I should go to see that one because there's nothing I'm doing in 2 days. And it is, let's see, at some brew house or something at 8 p.m. So that's pretty cool. All right, upcoming shows. Well, I'd love to see that. I'm going to send that to myself so I don't forget. yeah, I'd love to just, I might do that. So I think in a couple of days, we're going to go to Saratoga, wherever that is, if I can access it via public transportation. I might do that. They've got a lot of shows, it looks like, um, coming up anyway. April 12th, Saratoga, New York. Then you have April 19th, Mongop, New York, wherever the hell that is. And then on 420, New Windsor, New York. And then back in New York City, April 28th. So this guy's, he's doing his thing. But yeah, he was the cameraman. He was the, whatever you call it, you know, shooting the film. So it was really cool to work with him, and I'd love to go watch his comedy coming up in a couple of days. So why not do a lazy vlog and be like, hey guys, we're gonna go do this, whatever. And honestly, I might do a proper vlog. I might do a proper vlog uh, if we go and do this. Now, no guarantees. I also have been applying to jobs and stuff. So if like something comes up, then I may not go see this show coming up in 2 days. But I want to see either this show or the next one. Um, Plus, I want to get a little bit of adventure going on in my life. You know, I want to go. I want to go do something. So this is pretty cool. Supporting, someone who I respect, and then just having a little fun for myself and for the channel. So that is where my mind is at. But yeah, so back to the whole acting thing and not just the people who shot the film. Um, I backed out of the. So I was dealing with that woman and dealing with crisis mentally. What's in my life? Why am I dating this woman? All this stuff. Why did I move away? All this, like, what the hell's going on? Like, just not there. I mean, it was just not the best situation. There was a point in time where I was working at Panera Bread, out there, and she lost her job or whatever, and I was the only one working. So like the 21-year-old boyfriend, you know, live-in husband guy was like that. We got an apartment. Why did I get an apartment with this woman? We got the apartment together. You know what I mean? Like that's the level of like what was going on. It was crazy. It was crazy. So there's a point in time where she didn't have her job. I was the one paying for everything. What the fuck kind of like that's a mental like fuck, if you ask me. That's a mind fuck. So going through that, I end up filming the first movie with these guys, and I love it. And then they like pass me a script for the next movie. I really wish I did that. I really wish I did that, and then just continue to make more movies with them, because they're awesome. And I wish that that was the beginning. That was not the beginning, but that was one of the steps that really is a milestone in my memory for me running away from something. I remember when I was working with a friend, best friend, when I was like 15, 16, 17, CJ. I never called him that. His name was Chad. But his family and everyone else called him CJ. I was just called him Chad. Anyway, best friend for years, spent every day together, smoked everything together, just weed is what I mean. Drank every single day, hung out for years, camping, everything, just everything together. So he was cool. Um, so why did I bring up Chad? My memory is so done. When I start tangenting, I'm thinking about like the movie and then the best friend. I don't even know why I started thinking about that, to be honest. To get back to the movie, so he gives me this. Oh, I remember. I was working. Sorry. I remember. I was talking about giving up and running away from my problems. So my best friend, I was working with him and his family members and whatever. Like this diner was very much like his family members and then people close to his family, and whatever drama they had going on, it's not really my business to share with the world or anything. But at some point, I was just young and emotional and a stoner and was like, I don't want to come in. And then I didn't come into the shift, and then I just went back to my old job at Taco Bell. This was like a long time ago, so it was a very like, I don't know, that was like the beginning of me trying something, and then when things got like uncomfortable, I just ran away. So this happened again when I was working on the second movie, where I was given the script, but we haven't met. I was given the script, yes, and I went through it a little bit, yes, but then when it came down to like, all right, when are we going to do this? Then I bailed, mainly because I was just self-harm, scars on my arm, not giving a fuck about any pursuing anything because I'm over here dealing with the fact that I'm living with this woman, and it was just really not. It was not good. It was not good, guys. It was not good. She's a sweetheart. Her children were sweethearts. They're not the problem. The problem is, why the hell was I dating a woman? Why was she dating a 21-year-old boy and living with him? Why was I dating a almost 40-year-old woman? What was I doing? What was I doing? What was I thinking? I wasn't. It was all emotional. So it makes sense that I emotionally, impulsively stepped away from something, when I just couldn't take any more pressure from the decisions of my, life up until that point. So it makes me sad for sure that I did that. But this is why, guys, I want to talk about shame in the previous, lazy vlog and even now, because it stopped me from even considering acting for years. Seriously. And I say it stopped me. What I mean is because I associated acting with this uncomfortable memory of me walking away, and then I just feel like, okay, well, I'm just not going to do that anymore. And after that, by the way, so many things that I pursued, fast food, which I am so tired of. I hope I never do it again for the rest of my life, unless I literally have to. I'm telling you, I'm so sick of doing it. But every single job I've done since then, I've done it, and I can see myself doing it. But I think part of that is because I'm a hard worker, and the other part is because there's many parts. But I'm a hard worker. There's other things. But one of the things I think we should note is, as an actor, you can see yourself doing anything at all. You can see yourself doing it. And because I am of a certain stubborn mindset, I can definitely see myself doing basically anything. So it's very, very annoying, but I can see that. So it's almost as if I'm presented the challenge of doing this job, I just want to do it because I know I can do it and whatever. Even though at some point I feel the misery, the void. I feel that, wow, this really fucking sucks. This is my life. Wait, I hate this. Meanwhile, in the back of my mind, I know that I want to do acting. I know that I want to do it, but I'm too pussy. I'm too afraid. I almost said scared. I'm too, oh my gosh, I ran away from that one film, so therefore I'm a fucking bum and I can never pursue acting again. My teeth aren't how I want them to be. They're not perfect by any stretch. Like filling, got a filling here, got a filling there. So it's like, and there's plenty of actors, who have fillings in their teeth. But my point is, you know, there's so many like little nitpicky things that I feel like, oh, I can't be an actor unless, or I can't do it because I walked away. This is what is important about life to me, is understanding myself to the level of being able to make better choices because I've allowed myself to see more clearly. Emotions are so heavy in my family, very much so in my head. My heart beats out of my chest. It really does. At the level of emotions that I have is, I mean, why else would I do things like self harm or act or love as hard as I do? Because my emotions are just so amped, so high, so like seriously. That's why I get depressed at times, because even the depression emotions are so big. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel and I feel hard. So that's okay. But keeping that in, what do you call it? Keeping it, under control, that is amazing. That is the ultimate way for me to live, is to be aware of what I'm doing and what's stopping me. And if I'm the thing stopping me, my goodness, let's correct that, because there's so many things I could be doing that would feel amazing. Acting here, acting there, whether it's theater or whether it's whatever it is. Obviously, film or TV is what I would like to do. Whether it is student films, which I'd love to do for practice, $100 day movies, which Joey Diaz talks about all the time. I'm tired of not pursuing fun projects like that. And I think I've gained a level of confidence recently I've always had confidence. I've always felt like I'm fine to be on camera, literally. Even though, look at my hair. It's literally crazy. This one angle looks okay. Turn it to the side, and it's literally a crazy, uneven mess. Uh, Incredible hair. Black hair really is a strange beast. Um, so yeah, I've always been comfortable to be on camera. I think what I felt lately is just this. I'm 29. I know it's like that level of assurance that I had when I worked at these different jobs, and I'm like, I know for a fact I don't want to be doing this. I need to be doing something else. I feel so hard in my body. I feel in my emotions that I'm longing for something that isn't this. So, and it's weird because I can draw confidence from that. I can draw confidence from knowing that I am not supposed to be doing this other thing, which, I mean, there's no guarantee I'm supposed to be acting, but I know that's what I want to do every day. When I see an actor, when I see a guy on TV, not like talk show, whatever, more so like when I see Tom Holland, Spider Man, when I see somebody, I'm just like, I could have auditioned for that at least, I don't feel this level of intimidation like I have in the past. And I've had some uncomfortable auditions, guys, and I've had some uncomfortable auditions where they were like, we want you to write your own thing and then act that out for us. And then I've done that, and then that was met with, right, so we want you to act it this way and not that way. I'm like, I wrote this fucking thing to be read with a somber tone. I wrote this to be read in a somber tone, not to be sped through because you want to see if I can remember the lines or whatever. Now, if you just need me to remember the lines, I can do that 100%. But the fact that you wanted me to write my own thing, I talked about a very personal thing. I talked about self harm. I talked about how stressed and how you just want to die and all this stuff, And I talked about that, and I wrote something about that because I thought it was moving. And the fact that they were like, "Yeah, we want you to read it like this, read it like that, do this instead," it pissed me right off. So I was like, you know what, this audition can go fuck itself because I can do your script if you give me one. But if you have me write it, I'm going to be pissed if you want me to do it in a different way, which is not a very actor mindset. But in that, one of my first 5 auditions or whatever, like the second one or something, that was my mindset. Was I wrote it, so I want to do it my way, and why would you ask me to do it any other way if I'm the one who wrote it? What the hell? So it was a very like egoic mindset, and I don't think that helped me. But reflecting, I can accept, hey, dude, you gotta be more flexible, and I certainly feel the same. Like when I had my experience in the improv theater realm, and in the acting realm of like going to school, taking classes barefoot by an acting teacher in the basement of Proctor's Theater. Definitely an interesting time. Anyway, I really do like acting. It's improv, but film film is forever. I love that part. I know that improv is that fleeting in the moment, whatever. It's hilarious. There's so much laughter or just good acting, which I really do like that. And sometimes it really shines. But I know the type of acting that I want to do, and it is on film. You can clip the scenes, that type of shit. And, you know, even some theater, because of my booming voice. At times it's very booming. I know it can carry across the room. And being on stage, I think if I was an announcer or a referee or a supporting actor or something, I think that would be really fun. I don't really want to have like, crazy amount of lines memorized and to be a lead in like a musical or something like that. Like I don't like no, that I don't really want to do. But being able to be on film, record, work on set with other actors, bouncing off each other, that is fun. And that is the type of acting that I want. When I see the Avengers, when I see these Marvel movies, and you're like a part of a squad, even like I'm not saying like I don't want to be Groot, like I don't want to be the voice actor for Groot, even though I'm sure he's got money. I would rather be, like, I mean, voice acting is super fun, so I would love to do that. The idea is super fun to me. But I would prefer if I was like on camera and I had to be like one of the Avengers. I mean, who doesn't want to be Tony Stark? Who doesn't want to be Loki, who is not an Avenger, but he ended up having his own show, which was pretty good. So, like a character like that can have their moment where they are like shining, but everything isn't about them. Maybe one movie is, but not like everything. So like I wouldn't want to be Thor or Iron Man or whatever, Captain America, but like the side heroes like Bruce Banner, aka Hulk, you know, that is cool. We love him, he's there, you expect him to be there, but he isn't necessarily the like focus all of the time. And when he is, when he's hulking and smashing everything, it's kind of CGI, so he doesn't have to be literally on camera necessarily. So that I think is pretty awesome. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on acting. I would love to be a supporting actor. I'd start off doing extras, even though I didn't. Even though I haven't done any extra work yet, and I've done just very like supporting actor type stuff, yeah, I kind of want to do both. And in the future, if I ever get good enough to do something that actually requires like some lines and some, on camera time, then, I will apply for something like that. I will audition for something like that. But, you know, eh. Otherwise, I just want to get in where I fit in, and right now, that is the super beginner level. And extra work, if I got paid to be an extra, bro, like, that would be just fine with me. That would be just fine with me. So that's where I'm at, guys. I know this is a pretty big 360. It's a big kind of like reveal. I've talked a lot recently over the past 8 months, about the different things I wanted to do. I've had so many jobs in the past 8 months. I've had a new job for every month. Seriously, I've done so many different things in the past 8 months. And if I just put that level of effort into acting, then I would have a few more IMDb credits, and that much is cool to me because it's like a public report card. That's awesome. I'm not doing all of this just to get a wiki page, or am I? Is this all just about Wikipedia? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, guys. So going forward, I have chatted with my brother earlier today, and I said, hey, it'd be nice if you could help me, take some photos, some headshot photos. You guys can tell I don't have an edge up right now, and I haven't had an edge up in over a year, or 2 years, or something like that, just out of fear that someone's going to screw it up and I'm going to look crazier than I do now. Now, I know that's kind of, a stretch, but that's just where I'm at, guys. As I said in the vlog, which I hope you guys check out, Lazy Vlog 2. I mean, even my little brother, who's a photographer and does all types of stuff. He went to college for fashion or design, I think it was. He has done extra work, I believe, and he's worked for HBO. So, I mean, we're upstate New Yorkers. We live in the capital region. He's literally going down to the city like frequently, and there's no reason why I'm not doing the same, especially because we both like acting. And there's literally no reason why I'm not doing the same things, And he now even has more responsibility than I do as far as like dependence. I don't have any children, so if my little brother can do what he does, there's no reason why I'm not pursuing it. So I'm so happy to push through this mental barrier. Of realizing that, hey, I still am an actor, I still want to be an actor, and I just haven't been pursuing it, but now it's time to get it in gear. So I'm really excited about the future, and I really want my brother to help me just to get some headshots so I can do this last step, which is go back on Backstage, which is a website. It's like an online actor's profile. From there, you can apply to audition, or you can, yeah, apply to audition to all these different projects, all the way from, you know, big name companies that are looking for actors on this website. I know there's things like Central Casting that you can use as well, but like big name studios or whatever are looking for actors on that stage, on that page, backstage.com. But they also have people all the way down to, you know, commercials, TV commercials, and paid for programs, and non-union this and blah blah blah. And then you have like digital media, film yourself content, you know, like I film it at home, I send it to a company, I get paid, whatever it is, that type of stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then you have student films. There's so many different options for actors, and I want to get a part of that. When I hear Joey Diaz talk about all the different $100 a day movies, $100 a day movie, $100 a day movies. He talked about, he's done a thousand of them, as he would say, you know, tremendous. But he's done so many of them to the point where I'm like, this motherfucker, he's doing them. Why am I not doing them? Why? Why? What pressure is there to do a $100 a day movie? Are these people, you know, Steven Spielberg? Are you working alongside, you know, fucking anybody of importance? By the way, no disrespect to anybody who ever invites me to be on their film. You know, the point of what I'm trying to say is, don't let the people who you might be working alongside make you feel like you're a fucking peanut and they're like, you know, this big giant thing. Like, they are an actor just like you are. Now, if it is like Scarlett Johansson, okay, they are this big giant thing. But if it's just like these $100 a day movies, like, you can have respect for whoever the fuck puts you on the project or whoever you're working alongside. If they are awesome and if they have earned the credit and credibility, cool, you have my respect. But I don't want to go into a film thinking like, oh, it's $100 a day movie. Oh my god, like these people are all super famous and I'm a bum. Like, we're all bums. None of us are Tom Holland, so we're all on the same page. Now I can really say that once I've actually done it. Right now I haven't, but based on what Joey Diaz has explained to me through podcast, like watching his episodes, is that anybody who puts in the effort can have some success in the world of acting, be it in New York or otherwise. And you just have to just get off your ass and actually do it. He was a hustler. He really is. And he has pursued comedy and acting and life, you know, for the past 50 years or however old he is. So, I don't know, it's really inspiring to me. And even though there are times recently I've said I wanted to do teaching English online or teaching English in some foreign country, or I want to do whatever it was I was trying to do, streamer, whatever, you know, it's always, or I want to be a surfer and be a YouTuber who records himself surfing and talks about surfing, and my whole life is that. You know, ultimately, I love surfing. It's really fun. It's a fun activity. It's a fun lifestyle. There's so much to it that just my personality meshes with, and my physical body enjoys to be in the ocean, enjoys surfing, being on a board. Like, it's all really in tune and resonates with Davon the person, but Davon the actor. You know, I feel like that is really what supersedes these little fun things, which surfing doesn't have to be little, but in my life, it just isn't this all encompassing thing, this super important thing. Like, if I go and do acting and it's recorded and I have that credit and or I got paid for that, then I have something, you know. I have something that's important to me, you know, even if it is just cringy scenes that I'll probably never watch again. I can still know that here's a tangible thing, tangible in that it's a video, you know. I can't touch the video, but I was there and it's super cool. Now, yeah, I can be recorded on my YouTube channel surfing, and that is something completely different, and I don't see why I couldn't do 1 or 2 videos of that. But to have my whole brand be that just isn't. And what brand am I? I'm just a douchebag on the internet. So just an upstate New York douchebag. There's no brand here. But if I ever do mention some type of brand, just know that I'm a bump on a log, you know. But I'm trying to trying to get better over time. So, but yeah, I don't want my whole internet presence, my whole life to be surfing. I love it, and it would be cool if my whole life was surfing, but I still want to do something else. Even when I was thinking about surfing and recording myself surfing and all this, I still imagine myself like doing surfing in a movie or in a in a show like about surfers. Like I got a text from this company that said we were auditioning for the Outer Banks and whatever. So it was just like, this was a long time ago. So it's like stuff like that is more interesting to me than actually surfing. Which now that's actually not fully true. Surfing is actually pretty damn awesome. Um, but the point is, I will be a surfer, which I am, and still long to make content about surfing, and in the film TV space. So it's a multi-level kind of deal. I like doing it, and I like the perceived lifestyle of it, and yeah, that's kind of my mindset here. So, though I have pursued many other things in the past, ultimately I do think acting is the only thing that will satisfy me, that will leave me without yearning for something else. Now, who doesn't want to be a rock star? I want to be a rock star. I want to be a singer, singing with my band, touring. That'd be awesome. Seeing this country, performing, meeting fans. Would love that. I would love that. But if I can be in a movie or a show about a band, you know what I mean? That would be really fun too, you know? So that's where I'm at, guys. I appreciate you so much for listening. I know this podcast episode is a little bit shorter, but I want to edit it and get it posted all in one day. And I've already edited and posted another video, so I just want to relax at this point, honestly. And I want to poke around on the website, so I'll be on Backstage. I might try to take a couple of headshots myself, just so I can have like something on the internet. And then I'll just be sifting through different auditions. I think that'll be awesome. I want to be the guy who's constantly just auditioning, constantly going for something, more money, more money, more money. And then when I get to the point of just a rapport with an agency or something, to where I can count on X amount of work, then my life will just be paid for by acting. And I really want that. I want that, and I'm tired of feeling embarrassed for wanting to be an actor. And I'm tired of seeing these influencers on the internet, and they are just screaming at the top of their lungs, I want to be an actor. Follow me, follow my journey. And I see them, and I'm just like, cringe, 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 cringe. They're chasing their freaking dreams. So even though it's public and it's a little awkward and maybe they're corny, it's just, and cringy, they're pursuing their dreams, and me, I'm over here working a job that I hate, thinking about how I wish I could pursue my dreams, but it'll never happen. Enough is enough, guys. Enough of the shame. Enough of the shame. It's time that I actually pursue the life that I actually want. Enough is enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do comment your thing that's holding you back, or maybe you have some suggestions on acting, or maybe you just want to comment on one of the things that I mentioned in this podcast, because I did jump around a bit. Maybe you want to hear more about the Chad fellow, that best friend of mine from years ago. I don't know. Comment below, and be sure to check out. I'll leave a link to the description. I'll leave a link to the video in the description of this video. My lord, whatever. Check out Davon Raymond X on YouTube. You'll see the lazy vlogs where I'm doing all types of chit chats all over upstate New York. So hey, I appreciate you guys so much. Be sure to I can't even talk. Subscribe. See you next week. Peace.